Breaking news to share with you coming out of New Jersey as a verdict is in the case of former Olympic equestrian Michael Barisone. He's accused of 2 counts of attempted murder. Let's go in together now and listen live.
All right, be seated, everyone. All right, Mr. Foreman, please rise, please. Mr. Foreman, has the jury agreed upon a verdict in this case?
Yeah.
Is that verdict unanimous?
It is.
Fine. With regard to count 1, attempted murder of Lauren Canarak, what is your verdict?
Not guilty by reason of insanity.
With regard to count 2, attempted murder of Robert Goodwin, what is your verdict, sir?
Not guilty.
With regard to count 2, the lesser included offense of aggravated assault upon Robert Goodwin, what is your verdict?
Not guilty.
On count 3, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose to use against the person of Lauren Canarak, what is your verdict?
Not guilty by reason of insanity.
And with regard to count 4, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, what is your verdict?
Not guilty.
Very good. You may be seated, Mr. Foreman. Thank you. All right, members of the jury, you have heard the verdict as reported by your foreperson, and I will now have a polling of each of you individually. And the verdict as read by your foreman is as follows. On count 1, attempted murder, not guilty by reason of insanity. On count 2, attempted murder, not guilty. On the lesser included offense, aggravated assault, not guilty. On count 3, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose with regard to Lauren Canarak, not guilty by reason of insanity. And finally, on count 4, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose regarding Robert Goodwin, not guilty. If this is your verdict, as I go around, I'll call each juror's number. And if that's your verdict, simply say yes. If it's not your verdict, just indicate no. All right? All right, beginning with juror number 1, is that your verdict?
Yes.
All right. And juror number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4?
Yes.
All right. Juror number 5?
Yes.
All right. Juror number 6?
Yes.
And juror number 8?
Yes.
Juror number 10?
Yes.
Juror number 11?
Yes.
And juror number 12?
Yes.
All right. And juror number 13?
Yes.
Juror number 14?
Yes.
And finally, juror number 16.
Yes.
All right. Very good. And Mr. Foreman, there was a spot on the verdict form for your signature and a date. Did you sign and date the verdict form?
I did.
All right. Can you hand that to one of my court officers, please? They'll bring it up. That will be kept by the court in our court file for future reference. Thank you. I did review the verdict sheet. It is marked as the foreman announced it, and it is signed and dated by the foreperson, so that'll be kept by the court. Thank you, sir. All right, very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the function you have performed is one of the most important civic duties which you will ever be called upon to fulfill. If you recall, I said that at the very beginning of the case when we were picking a jury. I thought next to military service, serving as a juror in a case is one of the most or the most important civic duty you will be called upon to fulfill. And with the return of the verdict in this case, your service as jurors in this case is complete. Upon your discharge, you are not required, except upon order of this court, to discuss your deliberations or verdict with anyone. Additionally, no attorney or party or person acting for them is permitted under the rules of court to examine or question you about this matter or your role in its outcome. If any of these persons approaches you and attempts to interview you, please notify me or my staff immediately. You may also be contacted by others, including members of the media. I'm sure it's no surprise to you that this case, given the cameras in the courtroom, has received attention from the media. And there is media present now in the courtroom. There's also a news magazine, I'm sure some of you have heard of it, 48 Hours, that has been recording this trial, not you. But the proceedings, the jurors are not shown, but they have been recording the trial for future broadcast sometime in the fall. They have asked that my court staff provide you each with a letter by their producer. They may wish to speak to you. They cannot approach you individually, but my staff will give you a letter with the name of the producer and a phone number. If you wish to speak to her, you can contact her. You can throw the letter in the trash on your way out if you want. It's completely up to you. However, if you agree to be interviewed, you may discuss whatever you want and in whatever manner you deem appropriate. However, please keep in mind the key to your function as jurors has been the free discussion among yourselves during your deliberations. And the privacy of those deliberations is essential to the continuation of the fair administration of justice.
Okay, with the verdict, here's what's important to know here. We have not guilty by reason of insanity with the charges that involve Lauren Kenrick and not guilty with the charges involving Robert Goodwin. Want to make an important distinction here. This does not mean that Michael Barisone will be a free man walking around right after this case. Let me bring in for some commentary Atlanta Magistrate Court Judge and Criminal Defense Attorney Kimberly Bando. Judge, what can we expect with a sentence with someone who's found not guilty by reason of insanity?
Well, at some point, as soon as they get it arranged, that he'll be sent to some mental health rehabilitation type place for some period of time, whatever they'll decide at some point at a sentencing hearing.
Yeah, essentially it means Michael Barisone is going to get the help that he needs. Thank goodness for that. Judge, in your opinion, was justice served here?
Yes, I mean, from listening to the trial and the parts and pieces that I've heard, they were terrorizing him. And so it was, I mean, they were literally terrorizing the man. And so he reacted, and this is where we ended up at. And so I think the jury got it right on this one.
I'm with you there. Judge Kimberly Bando, always a pleasure to have you on Court TV Live. Thank you kindly.